Alright, let's get into this gist straight. Because honestly, this one shocked many people online. So, Simon Ekpa, the man many Nigerians know for his strong talk about Biafra and sit-at-home orders, has come out to say he's just a content creator. Yes, you heard me right. He said he's only creating content. Now, when this news came out, people started asking, wait, is this the same Simon Ekpa we know? Before we go deeper, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really helps this channel grow, and make sure you don't miss any fresh gist from us. Now, let's go back to the story. Simon Ekpa has always been known for his loud voice on social media, especially when it comes to the Biafra struggle and the issues in the southeast. Many times, he's spoken about sit-at-home, government injustice, and the need for a separate nation. Because of this, a lot of Nigerians, especially those living in the southeast, see him as a strong activist. But now, hearing him say he's just a content creator got people confused. According to reports, Simon Ekpa made the statement while trying to clear himself from accusations that his actions have caused unrest in some areas. He said he only shares information and creates videos for awareness, not to cause trouble. He even described himself as someone who's simply giving out content to his audience. Nothing more, nothing less. But Nigerians are not taking it easy. On X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and even on TikTok, the comments have been flying everywhere. Some people say it's a smart move to protect himself from international attention and possible arrest, while others feel it's a sign that he's trying to step away from his earlier position. And you know how Nigerians are. People quickly began to dig into his old videos, where he was clearly seen giving strong instructions and political opinions. Many are saying, you can't say you're just a content creator when your words have serious effects on people's lives. Please, if you're watching right now, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I promise you, every like really helps others see the video too. Now, the interesting part is how this new statement might change things for him, because if you look at it, the same content creator tag might be his way of softening his image before authorities, both in Nigeria and abroad. Remember, Simon Ekpa is based in Finland, and the Finnish government has been under pressure before because of some of his broadcasts. If he's saying he's just a content creator, it could be his strategy to say, look, I'm just doing media work. I'm not leading any political group. But the question people keep asking is, can someone really separate their content from the real life impact it has? Especially when that content stirs emotions and actions in real people. For instance, some sit-at-home orders that circulated online were allegedly linked to his broadcasts. Whether or not he directly called for them, people connected his voice to the movement. So when he now says he's only creating content, Nigerians are asking, so all those videos, all those messages, were they just content for entertainment or education? Let's be real. The line between activism and content creation is getting blurry. Today, almost anyone with a smartphone can talk, go live, and get a huge following. People watch, react, and sometimes act on what they hear. That's the power of social media now. But when those actions start to cause tension, then everyone begins to point fingers. And speaking of tension, many people in the southeast are still living in fear each Monday. Businesses are struggling, schools are closing, and families are worried. So, when someone like Simon Ekpa, who has been seen as a strong voice in that space, comes out to say, "I'm just a content creator," it makes people wonder. So, who's really behind all the orders and chaos? Now, another twist in this story is how other activists are reacting. Some pro-Biafra supporters are not happy with his new tone. They feel he's backing down from the struggle, while others say he's been smart by trying to protect himself legally. It's almost like a division among his followers. What I also find interesting is how he carefully used that phrase, content creator. It's something we see online every day. People doing podcasts, analysis, interviews, and calling it content. But when it involves political or security issues, it's not just content anymore. It becomes something bigger. And that's where the problem is. Guys, if you're still watching, please smash that like button and subscribe to stay updated with all these trending stories. I really appreciate your support. It keeps the gist coming. Back to the matter. This issue of calling himself a content creator has also made people talk about accountability online. Because think about it. If every influencer, activist, or commentator says, "I'm just doing content," then who takes responsibility when things go wrong? In Simon Ekpa's case, his words have reached millions. Whether people agree or not, he has influence. So, saying he's just a content creator doesn't change how people perceive his role. It only raises more questions about what his real intention is. And speaking of intention, we can't forget that his mentor or former ally, Nnamdi Kanu, is still in detention. Some people have even said that Simon Ekpa's recent tone might be part of a larger political strategy, while others believe he's just trying to stay relevant as the global spotlight keeps turning towards the Biafra conversation. Again, but let's be honest, this situation also shows how social media has changed politics in Nigeria. Before, activism used to mean protests and speeches. Now, one tweet, one live broadcast, or one video can spark something serious. And that's why people are watching what Simon Ekpa says very closely. So at the end of the day, the big question remains, is Simon Ekpa truly just a content creator? Or is this a clever way to escape political pressure? Nigerians are watching closely, and the reactions show that people are tired of confusion and fear. Everyone wants peace, but also wants the truth. So, after Simon Ekpa made that statement, calling himself a content creator, social media literally caught fire. Nigerians from every corner of the internet started talking. Some said, Simon don't calm down because they don't see say wahala too much. Others argued that maybe he's just trying to protect himself legally. But one thing everyone agreed on is that the man knows how to stay in the news. Please, if you're watching right now, pause for 1 second, like this video, and subscribe if you haven't. I mean, we bring you gist like this all the time, and your support really helps us grow this platform. Now, back to the matter. You see, when someone like Simon Ekpa, who has been making strong statements for years, suddenly tones things down and says, "I'm just a content creator," it raises big questions, because this is someone whose voice and videos have reached not just Nigerians, but also people in the international community. Many Nigerians in Finland, Germany, and even the UK have said they've seen him at events or online live streams, speaking passionately about the Biafra issue. So this content creator angle didn't sit well with everyone. There's also talk that the Finnish government and some international human rights groups have been monitoring what's going on, especially the violence and tension in Nigeria's southeast. So, for Simon to now distance himself by saying he's simply creating content, some believe it's a way to avoid being blamed directly for any unrest. It's like he's saying, don't blame me for what people do after watching my videos. I'm just informing or entertaining. But let's be honest, content creation is not always neutral. If your videos are political, your followers will interpret them politically. That's what's happening here. Many of his followers don't just see him as a YouTuber or influencer. They see him as a leader. So even when he says, I'm just doing content, it doesn't change how they act on his words. And that's what makes this case really deep. Because on one hand, he's claiming creative freedom, the right to talk about what he believes in. And on the other hand, his words are influencing real people on the ground. Please don't forget, like this video and subscribe now so you don't miss more updates on stories like this. Now, let's talk about how people in the Southeast are reacting. A lot of business owners and market people are saying that the continuous tension has affected their lives badly. Some are afraid to even open their shops, especially on Mondays. Many of them have lost customers, and schools are struggling to keep up with learning schedules. So, when they hear that the person they thought was behind all these sit-at-home orders is now saying, I'm just creating content, it sounds almost like a joke to them. One trader in Onitsha was quoted saying, if it's just content, why are people dying? That's how emotional this whole situation has become. People are frustrated because they feel like they've suffered too much. And that's another thing we must talk about. The power of social media in Nigeria today. We've reached a point where influencers and online commentators are shaping national conversations more than traditional media. Someone can be in another country and still influence what happens in Nigeria. That's both powerful and dangerous at the same time. Let's be clear though, Simon Ekpa is not the first to use the content creator tag to soften a controversial image. Around the world, we've seen people rebrand themselves when the heat becomes too much. Sometimes it's a PR strategy. Other times it's a genuine shift in direction. But Nigerians have long memories. People remember his earlier broadcasts, the fiery tone, and the calls that many interpreted as orders. So, to now call it just content doesn't erase the past for many of them. Still, some of his followers online are defending him, saying he's being misunderstood. They claim that his videos were meant to awaken consciousness, not to cause violence. They say people took his words out of context. Now, that brings us to an important point. The difference between intention and impact. Maybe Simon Ekpa truly meant to spread awareness. But when people act on your words, you can't fully control the outcome. That's the danger of influence. Please, before we go further, click the like button and subscribe, because I'm about to talk about how this might affect his image moving forward. And you'll want to hear this part. So here's the thing. Simon Ekpa's credibility is now on the line. By saying he's a content creator, he's basically trying to redefine himself. But it also means some of his supporters might begin to question whether he's still committed to what he once stood for. This could either calm things down in the southeast or make his followers feel betrayed. It could go either way. And from the government side, don't forget that Nigerian security agencies have mentioned his name before in connection with unrest. Even though he's not in Nigeria, the authorities have shown interest in his activities. Now, with him describing himself as a content creator, he might be trying to position himself as a journalist or commentator, someone exercising freedom of speech. But again, the line between activism and propaganda is thin. Nigerians are watching closely to see how things unfold. Will he keep posting the same type of videos? Or will he shift his tone and start focusing on different kinds of content? Maybe more analysis or commentary. And that's why many people say this is not just about Simon Ekpa. It's about how powerful social media voices have become in shaping the Nigerian story. Whether it's politics, religion, or activism, what we post now goes far beyond the internet. At the end of the day, this whole issue shows one truth. Online influence comes with responsibility. Whether you're an activist, journalist, or content creator, your words matter. And for Simon Ekpa, his words have already made a mark, for better or worse. Guys, let me hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Simon Ekpa is trying to escape responsibility? Or is he truly just a content creator sharing his opinions? And again, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next update. We've still got more angles to this story, including what insiders are now saying about his next move and how this statement might affect the wider Biafra conversation online.